tummy is not flat. My tummy is not even completely flat yet. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lakbadi Baju and this is Lakwe's Lifestyle. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get an alert when a new video comes up. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. You guys are the real OG. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. So guys, as most of you may know, I recently had a baby. So I've been doing like this pregnancy series, so today we're going to be talking about postpartum health. So this is like a real time recording. So because the last videos or next couple of videos actually that I'm going to be putting out are videos I recorded a couple of weeks ago, but this is real time. I am in my 5th week postpartum, so I feel like this is actually the most appropriate time to talk about what I've been experiencing post delivery, share with you guys and also give you some my experience and also some advice based on experience. Again, as most of you may know or may not know, this is my second child. So I've had two babies, or I have two babies rather. So my first is a boy, he's 3+, and my second is a girl, and she's 4 weeks now. So she thinks I experienced this time around that I didn't experience when I've had my first is Moyo. So yeah, I have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible because I've noticed that I ramble a lot. So hope you guys bear with me. But let's just first thing you want to make sure you have, and you probably get it in your hospital depending on where you live. So post delivery, they normally give a I think it's called a cleaning bottle. I think that's what it's called. So there's a particular one they actually provide in the hospital. I'll put the picture up here because I don't have it with me, but I actually purchased this one from Amazon. So it's called the Frida Mom Upside Down Peri Bottle, and I'll let you guys know why I bought this particular one, because it's actually pricier than the regular bottle. The regular bottle you don't even buy, you probably get it in your hospital. So I got this from Amazon. I think it was about $17. So this is it. Now the reason why I bought this is because of the shape. So if you had a baby before, you know that, especially if it's a vaginal delivery, you know that down there is quite inflamed, so it's difficult to clean the place. And because I should have probably given you guys some warning before starting this video that there's gonna be some TMI. So anyway, it's inflamed and you want to make sure the place is clean and relief. You want to make sure you get some relief as well when you clean the place, because you're probably going to be wearing sanitary pads or whatever to take the bleeding. So this is very, very convenient because of the angle of this. You literally just fill it with warm water. That's what I did, and you just put it down there and just spray. It's angled at a position where you don't have to bend or make yourself uncomfortable, because you're already uncomfortable as it is. So this was actually a very good buy. I find it was about, I think, $18. I think I'll probably put the price up here as well once I confirm. But for me, I feel like it's worth it, and it's reusable. So it's something that if you have your first, you can always keep it if you intend to have more kids. So yeah, this is very, very important. My number 2 advice would be try to change your pads as often as possible, most especially in the first 2 weeks, because so my advice is geared more towards those who have vaginal deliveries, because that's what I've had. My 2 births have been vaginal, and the healing process is usually within, I'll say, about 2 to 3 weeks, but the time you feel the pain and the most discomfort is usually between week 1 and week 2. So everything you want to do, you should be within those first 2 weeks. So when I had my baby this time around, I purchased the I think they're called the panties used for incontinence. So that was what I actually purchased, because I didn't want to have to worry about changing my panties or worry about my panties getting stained, because of the bleeding. So it's not really about, I mean, you can easily change it and dispose of it. That's it. But for me, it was more like for convenience. I'll place the picture here because I've exhausted everything right now. But I find that was more convenient for me, and it was just pretty straightforward. Like I'll just literally change and put on another one. And while at the hospital, because in the first week as well, you find, as I said, the area is inflamed, so they give you ice packs to put down there, to give you that relief, or just to give you some sense of comfort, so that the place, because the place you okay, whatever. Anyway, you guys have you get the gist. Anyway, they give you ice packs to give you relief. So you want something that you can easily dispose of, not pants that you have to start panties that you have to start changing and washing and all of that. So because you want to make sure in your first 2 to 3 weeks, you want to make sure that you have the least amount of work to do. I mean, that's probably impossible, but try to relieve the stress, especially if you live abroad where you have advice. In the first 2 to 3 weeks, always give yourself warm compresses. It's warm compress, I think that's what they call it. So there's this thing, I don't know what they call it really, but I know it's a thing where you massage your tummy with warm water when you give birth, so that your uterus can go back in place. Of course, it will go back eventually, and everyone's body is different, so everyone's uterus would reduce back to its previous, not its previous size, but will reduce to at least the normal size at its own pace. Everyone's body is different, right? But you could assist your body, because what happens is, because the baby was at a very, your tummy was here, your uterus was here, so your organs have been squished and probably shifted out of place and all of that. So you're helping your body to push those organs back in place. It's a process. It takes time for everyone. So don't feel like because your tummy is not flat. My tummy is not even completely flat yet. Everyone has a different journey because our bodies are different. So, but you could assist your body by keeping your body warm and also massaging your tummy. I used to do it morning and night, but you could do it as often as next point, which ties to my previous point, is also drink a lot of warm water, because your body is recovering from the whole process of delivery, which was a lot. I mean, it has a huge impact on the body. I don't want to call it trauma. I mean, it's not trauma, but your body actually just went through a lot, so you have to give your body time to recover. So instead of taking cold water, which could send your body into shock, not shock anyway, but warm water is more soothing to the body. So try to take a lot of warm water. In terms of how to generate more milk, so as I said, there's this saying that no two pregnancies are the same, and it's very, very true. I find that when I had Moyo, that's my first, Mr. Mo, I didn't really have any issues with milk production. Of course, that was my first time, so I obviously didn't know what I was doing. So in terms of latching, I mean, it was like the normal thing, even though he didn't even have any difficulty latching, but probably, I don't know, like it's usually just the case. Like I had bruised nipples, yes, and usually the lactation consultants will say that it's because you didn't the baby isn't latching properly, or you didn't position the baby properly. So that's why, because ideally you're not meant to have cracked or bruised nipples. But I had that, but I mean, which for me was like a normal thing, because that was what my mother-in-law said, that, oh, don't worry, you just keep giving the baby, it's the baby's mouth that will heal the nipple. I'm pretty sure most of you must have heard stuff like that, those who've had kids and have African moms. Yeah, so that was the case with Moyo, and my milk was a lot then, and I exclusively breastfed him for 6 months, so he didn't have any issues. And this time around, I was like, okay, since I did it first time, so obviously I want to exclusively breastfeed this time around, and so of course I obviously started trying to breastfeed, and I had cracked nipples as well. But this time around it was really bad, like so bad that at some point I was like, okay, I don't even think I want to breastfeed again. I think I'm just going to exclusively pump, because I couldn't take the pain. The pain was unbearable. My 2 nipples, like anytime I wanted to, place her on my boob to feed, it was like my heart would beat so fast because it was that painful. Like, so I think, yeah, in the first week we had to go back to the hospital because she was being monitored for jaundice. So the nurse who we met with then wanted to see how I was latching, and then she saw my nipple and she was like, oh my god, this must be really painful, she's going to get me the lactation consultant, even though I didn't want to see lactation consultant for some reason. I don't know, don't ask me why. I don't know, but in hindsight, I'm actually grateful that I met with the lactation consultant. So it was when we met with the lactation consultant that she told me that my baby had what did she call it, like an elevated palate, so it made latching very painful. Like, that was just how her sucking reflex was too strong, so it made it caused that really harsh abrasion, I think, on my nipple. Like, it was very, very harsh to the boob, obviously. So that it was not really anything I was doing, but I could help by placing her in some sort of way, football hold, blah blah blah, to help relieve with the pain. And obviously she recommended some creams for me to apply to heal the nipples because it was a two. So, and of course now we're in we're in the 5th week now. This is actually, we're going into the 5th week, and I'm happy that I was able to scale through that period, because most people at that point will probably just give up. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to exclusively pump because I can't take this pain anymore. But meeting the lactation consultant, then she gave me 1 or 2 pieces of advice. So I changed my method of breastfeeding, and it kind of helped. It wasn't 100% because she was still really small then, so holding her in different positions wasn't really convenient. But I was able to manage things more appropriately. So that's that. And still on breastfeeding, in the process I had clogged ducts, which I didn't experience while I had Moyo. And I'll tell you how this happened, even though here it's not a thing. So she was feeding on, it was this one, my right boob. She was feeding on my right boob, and then she burped into the boob, and I didn't think it was anything. I know my mom actually told me then that whenever your baby burps into your I'm laughing already, guys. Whenever your baby burps into your breast, immediately take out the breast, hit the breast hit the tip of the breast on the baby's mouth 3 times, 1 2 3, and give it back to her to feed. The day she said it, I just looked at her. I was like, what are you saying? Now please, Joe, just I don't have time for all this your African women talk. So the day my baby burped in my breast, I didn't take it serious. I was just like, oh yeah, she did. I didn't even acknowledge it. I knew she did, but I didn't acknowledge it. I just ignored. And you guys, I'm not joking. Like, I'm not joking. I think it was that. So she did this in the morning. She burped in the morning, and at night, I started feeling feverish. Very feverish, and all of a sudden I started feeling cold from within. Like, I don't think I've really experienced that kind of thing before, except maybe back when I was much younger in Nigeria, when we used to have malaria. That was the kind of feeling. So it was quite unusual. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't even know at that point that was what was causing it. So I told my mom, I was feeling cold, blah, blah, blah. They gave me hot water, used pain relief. And I was still struggling with giving my baby, the breast, because everything was just so painful and achy, and guys. And then the following day, my mom was like, I hope you didn't allow this girl to burp into your breast, because I warned you. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh my god, that was it. So and while this was happening, the whole fever, chills, and all that, the breast was rock solid. Like, it was hard and painful, and I still had to give it to her to suck, because my mom was like, you have to give it to her. She has to suck out the the part that is blocked, because gas probably went in and blocked, which was what caused the clog. So it was actually a clogged duct, but something caused the duct to get clogged. So guys, it's a thing. If you don't think it's a thing, it's actually a thing. But anyway, ever since then, because my baby's she burps quite easily. I don't know. So whenever she burps into the boob, I just leave her there. I'm like, you must suck this thing, suck it, because I don't want that. Like, that actually went on for like, I'll say about 4 to 5 days. Yeah, and it was usually at night. The fever and chills will happen mostly at night. So I just kept giving it to her, and then I was using hot water compress, applying it on my boob, and still, putting the cream on top of the nipples. What else? And I used pain relief. So from the hospital, I was given a prescription pain relief, morphine, for the pain, because I was told I had, is it stage 2 tears or something? I can't remember. But anyway, the point is I'm fine now. But then, all of these things, like, there are a lot there. I don't want to just go into the full details. But so I was giving that at the hospital. So I was using that as well, using Tylenol, ibuprofen at different times. So you can't use all of them together. Always consult your doctor before using any medication, obviously. So as she kept sucking, from that boob, it kept getting. That is usually what gives mothers the most challenge in the first few weeks of delivery. The whole breastfeeding experience is usually very difficult. Some people, their milk doesn't come in time, and just as I said, like when I had Moyo, my milk came very easily. This time around, I was finding it difficult. I don't know if it had to do with the state of my body at that time or whatever, because I found I was struggling to produce milk to supply to this madam, and I was like, should I supplement with formula? So what I did was I kept taking pap. If you guys know African pap, it's called Ogi in Yoruba. And I have a supplier here. So if you're in Ontario, GTA area, I'm gonna put a link below so you can follow page on Instagram and order from them. You can tell them you're from me. Maybe you get some dollars off. So yeah, I was taking my pap I was taking it morning and night. I was also taking oatmeal, and on days where I didn't feel like taking the warm is it pottage it's called in English, I would rather take yogurt. So obviously I don't want to take it when it's very cold, so I just leave it out for some minutes and then take, because you need to be taking a lot of fluids to help with production. That's about it in terms of postpartum health. If you have any questions, please ask below. I'm not an expert, obviously, but I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, and if I can't, then I'll obviously refer you to people who can. But yeah, I think that's about it. Obviously, as I said, my tummy isn't completely flat yet, but what it is right now is, I just had a baby, so you obviously have to give yourself time. I find that the walls of my abdomen are quite weak, so I'm waiting till the 6th week mark when I meet with my gynecologist, and she gives me the clear to begin exercising. So obviously with exercise, you're going to be strengthening your core, so the muscles there will go back in place. But right now they are still very weak and very flabby and all of that. But aside that, I've healed down there. My boobs have healed as well, and our breastfeeding is much better now. I'm still pumping. I pump and I'm breastfeeding, but I intend to be exclusive for 6 months. We'll see how it goes. It's not written in stone. With my first, it was written in stone because I just really wanted the best. My mind was just like, I don't want to hear what anybody else is saying, whatever. But this time around, I'm just taking each day as it comes, and we'll see. So she's still breastfeeding obviously right now, and she's growing, she's bigger now, so I hold her more comfortably. So everything is going much better now. So, and we're happy I'm happy, she's happy, so we're happy with where we are right now. Yeah, so we've come to the end of today's video, guys. I really hope. But if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, so I know that you enjoyed it, and I'll make more videos, more baby related content if you guys enjoy stuff like this. And yeah, and if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.